Brothers and sisters, we're back at it. I'm gonna be brief because I got to handle some business, but I'm gonna be as effective as I can be. So first and foremost, as it says, and this isn't no pentagram, uh, Baphomet type of focus. This is for real how it really works, and this is why some of the people who are supposed to be teachers are really out of touch and don't understand what they're talking about. So we're going to go back to the very first chapter in the Bible, the very first verse, and we're going to pick up there. But as opposed to reading the story from the point of view of just reading the story, we're going to read the story from the point of view of as above, so below. And I need y'all to understand the point that I'm about to make. So, like I said, a lot of people have tried to make that symbology about some sort of demonology. But if you are an actualist, then this is how it sounds. In the beginning, God made the heaven and the earth. Stop right there. I got to go to the book of Enoch and I got to tie this stuff together with people so that way everybody gets on the same page. This is page 69, chapter. My goodness. Chapter 59, I want to say. It seems right. Yeah, 59. Or is that 69? Let me see. No, 69. Chapter 69 in the book of Enoch, verse. I want to start at the middle of verse 16. And these are the secrets of this oath, and they are strong through his oath. And the heaven was suspended. Stop. In the beginning, God made the heaven and the earth before the world was created and forever. And through it, the earth was founded upon the water. Now let's keep reading. So that way we all on the same page. Verse 2, but the earth was unsightly and unfurnished, and darkness was over the deep, and the Spirit of God moved over the water. Okay, now let's go back to the book of Enoch real quick. So that way people understand as above, so below. My point being that there is water above us, so that means that there is water below us. Don't worry, we're going to get to why that's all important in a moment. But first, people need to accept that what you look up at is not a reflection of the ocean from the sun to the light. It is merely you looking up at water. Okay, now let's keep going. And through it, the earth was founded upon the water. This is back to book of Enoch, verse 17 of chapter 69. And from the secret recesses of the mountains come beautiful waters, waterfalls and the likes, secret springs and the likes. From the creation of the world and unto eternity. Boom. And through that oath, the sea was created. And as its foundation, he set forth the sand against the time of its anger. And it dare not pass beyond from the creation, and it dare not pass beyond it from the creation of the world until eternity. So it's saying that the water that is on the earth, its only limitations that stops it is the actual land itself. Right on? So there's a divine ordinance there. Do you guys see, for just for the sake of argument, what stops the water from falling down right now? The Most High God, obviously. But we'll get to that. As above, so below. You cannot have water on the earth if there's not water above it. righteousness. Come on. Now, here we go. And God, excuse me, whoa. Verse 3. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided between the light and the darkness. Okay. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Note the fact that because darkness comes first, the light is second, you have to have a night and then a day in order for there to be a day. That's the process of a day. Let's keep going though. And God said, let there be a firmament. This is where the waters got separated from the heavens and the earth. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water, and let it be a division between water and water. And it was so. Now let's get back to the book of Enoch real quick. And through that oath are the depths made fast, and abide, and stir not from their place from eternity to eternity. Now we're going to go back a couple pages. We're going to read something else about this peculiar water that is on the earth, because I need people to understand. Now, once again, we just read that he did what? Verse 7. And God made the firmament, and God divided between the water which was under the firmament and the water which was above the firmament. And God called the firmament heaven. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning the second day. Stop right there. Now, we're going to read the separative or the separation powers that are used or utilized in order to keep the earthly waters from rising up. Verse 1 of chapter 66. And after he showed me the angels of punishment, who are prepared to come and let loose all the powers of the waters which are beneath in the earth in order to bring judgment. This is before the great deluge, right? So understand, water is obviously epically in this book. It's the most important thing in the book of Enoch outside of the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are no elements that are more important than water because it destroys the whole earth. Again, as above, so below. My people, I want y'all to find a natural fire. If there was a mantle core, I'm gonna say this because I'm trying to get to a point. If the earth was a circle and there was a mantle core, the mantle core would be the counter opposite to the sun. Yes, it would. It would. It's the only logical thing, my people, because it would be the only, because it's like you have a force that's working against another force. I'm just trying to say, how do you figure the earth is just going to burn up without somebody doing something man-made or Gentile made to it, when this is a natural phenomenon that happens? Right on. You hear about wildfires, but the fires that happen in California, they're even believing that somebody started those. So I'm saying to y'all, the natural happening of something has to be above before it's below. So the giants that are on the earth are only like that because the Most High God in his natural form is right. He's not a normal sized person. He's gigantic. You know what I'm saying? He's cosmic, if you will. And his true form makes him omnipotent. I know that's scary for people to think about, but that's the truth. Now let's just keep reading. And the Lord of spirits gave commandment to the angels who were going forth that they should not cause the waters to rise, but should hold them in check. For those angels were over the powers of the waters. So I need y'all to understand that there are forces at play that do these things. It's no different than the angel that pours in lead continuously. There's an angel, there's a spirit that does that. That's his job. This is where all these different pantheons come from, because the Most High God has delegated responsibility to these spirits that they may commit to these functions, right? That they're done seamlessly. Now, let's get to the punishment part, because this is the part that I've been trying to get to, right? Um, a lot of people like to believe that for whatever reason, we're all going to just walk away from this scot free. And they think when you die, that's it, it's over. Give me 1 second, I'm trying to find my bookmark. But that's not exactly how it works. I mean, that's wishful thinking, but to think like that is to just have an incomplete mind. And again, when we're saying as above, so below, we're saying that the things that take place above are the things that take place. We're not talking about like the debauchery and the wickedness. We're talking about the actuality of these things. So actually, the Most High God is not a little person. He's not a little being. Right on? He's beyond the size of what you would call any giant that was ever on this earth. 1 second. And here we are. Let me just find the exact verse real quick. Boom, 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 boom. Nope. I'm looking for. This might not be my book. I'm looking for the bookmark that has about the luminaries and what happens to them. Give me 1 second. I'm at another bookmark right now. This might be it. And all I'm looking for, because it breaks down what happens to the actual luminaries. It tells you that this is where they're going to be forever. Nope. Nope. And just quick reference. I know a lot of people don't believe in like the supernatural, but the more I think about concepts like a vampire not being able to move over running water, or many other demonic forces for that matter, or the responses to silver and things like that, the more I look at it, the more I start to understand like, okay, okay. 1 second. Where are we at? Nope. Here we go. Here we are. There we are. Takes a little while to find this stuff. So this is chapter 18 of the book of Enoch. And we're going to start at verse 9. And I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth. There the heavens were completed. Now, obviously, this is an end. No circle, no spherical object has ends on it. Does this thing look like it has ends? I mean, you could argue it has sides. I mean, you could argue it has sides, I guess, if you're looking at a complete sphere when you're looking at it. But does it have ends for real, though? No. It's shaped, yes. But does it have real ends like something like this? You know? Anyway. And I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth. There the heavens were completed, and I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire. So obviously there's fire in heaven. And among these columns, and among them I saw columns of fire fall, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and towards the depth. So he couldn't tell you how far down and how far up the stuff went. He just knows, wow, it's amazing. Now, again, I know people don't want to hear these things. That's heavenly fire, right? But that's something that's when lightning strikes in the middle of the desert, or and just in an area that's lesser inhabited, that has tumbleweeds, and that lightning causes a fire to happen, that's not man-made. That's from the heavens. It's totally different. So when you have a concept where somebody on the earth is trying to force something to happen, that's not the same as the great deluge being made to happen because the angels are told, okay, your normal setting or your normal programming, I want you to abandon that and I want you to do this. Right. It's that simple. It's not like somebody saying, okay, I'm going to go into the lab and create a virus and then introduce it to the earth and then create pandemonium and chaos because you follow what I'm saying? That's not as above. Even though the Most High God can send pestilence and send the spirit of diseases and all that upon you, that's totally different. The one is man-made, one is like truly cosmic and is divine. What people want to call esoteric. Now let's just keep reading. And beyond that abyss, I saw a place which had no firmament of the heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. And there was no water upon it, and no birds, but it was a waste and a horrible place. I saw there 7 stars like great burning mountains, and to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, "This is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. And he was wroth with them and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years." Now, I need y'all to understand something. That water that's above us is obviously is life. It's life. All the things that you enjoy, whether it be juice or let's just say you're a vegan. Let's just argue that real quick, right? Let's just, once again, let me give some love to the vegans, even though I believe that it's completely unhealthy to be eating things that come directly out of an earth that no matter where you live, it has radiation contaminants, right? So the vegan eats everything from the earth, right? And it's not a knock on them. It's just what it is. If what they were doing was the way that it's supposed to be, right? Because again, you can't keep the laws of the Most High God and be a vegan, technically. You can't follow my point. Whether they eat meat in heaven doesn't matter. Right on? They accept sacrifice. The Most High God accepts sacrifice. right? Because he understands that this is something that people are going to do, even though they don't have to. It's they believe that this is the only way that they can impress me. They believe this is the only way that they can make me happy, where they could make me happy and maybe never impress me, but make me happy just by following the basic ordinances of life. But when people step out of line of the ordinance of life, which is why I had to read about those angels real quick, they didn't do what they were supposed to do, so they're going to be punished. People should expect and accept no less for themselves. So when the water that's above us, once again, as above, so below. This is the truest form of it. We're not talking about some weirdo, Baphomet, homosexual, goat demon, Enochian magic, or whatever you want to consider that. I'm talking about the truest form of the first living thing. Right. Do I need to read about living water again in the book of Enoch? Let me find it. Because I just think that people don't understand that water does live. The first life that is true, other than the earth itself, the first life that is spoke about is water. Water is a living thing. It's in everybody. You cannot live without it. It's a part of you. Right. That being said, that the way that this is why you're able to be heavenly in a sense, or to try to be godly. Follow my point. The waters that's there is coming from the heaven when it rains. Right on? I don't so much so believe in their version of evaporation as I do believe in the repurifying of a substance, and maybe the abyss. Who knows what happens in the abysses? I have no idea. I have no earthly clue. But something beyond their actual science that they can explain takes place, because people are able to ascend in their mind and in their actions to a greater level of self and person, because as it is above, so it is below. You wouldn't have a chance otherwise. Do you understand my point, brothers and sisters? You would not have a chance to be righteous if it wasn't this way. Because the water you drink can be obviously gained from the bodies of water. But people do gather rainwater, and that is good water to drink. It is very good water to drink. Unless there's, massive fires or volcanic eruption or any sort of disturbance in the normal atmosphere that would contaminate the rain. Right on? But if it's just natural, clear, clean rainwater, again, the idea that you are trying to be anything greater than a man on this earth as far as what your actions say, you cannot do that by you can't pull from hell and expect to be heavenly, is what I'm trying to say. It'll never work like that. So the only way that you can ascend or to become a better person is you have to take from once again, as above, so below. If you want to be heavenly on this earth, you have to accept the heavenly bounds and rules and regulations, and you can't get outside of them. When you do step from outside of them, let me give you a prime example of the people's non-understanding. Men speak on the scripture and don't talk about as if right now, where we're at, is not the so-called Stone Age. This particular part in the Bible, right? Even if I were to just turn the page and I go down to verse 26, and it says, "And God said, let us make man according to our image and likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea." Stop. And all the other things. Stop right there. Even if you wanted to say meats, that's not the Stone Age. Okay. So then when I skip forward and I go forth, right? And then I read about this man named Cain, right? And then I'm going to just go down. Verse 17, "And Cain knew his wife, and having conceived, she bore Enoch, and he built a city," right? And he named the city after the name of his son, Enoch. Stop right there. Stone Age. Clearly, right? I'm just trying to give people the understanding. This is all Pangea, though. Supercontinent, one Earth. The Earth is not separated. You don't need to go to different places to get these things. You need to travel, but you don't have to travel across great bodies of water. The whole Earth is surrounded by water at this point. So when people can't understand this concept, right? And now, again, as above, so below. If you see somebody do something, because the desire to want to create is a natural function and a natural desire. The impulse to act on one's first thoughts or first infatuation, whatever you want to say it, I don't consider those two things the same, because the Most High God, the holiest of the holies, right, didn't come down and corrupt himself. So when these angels who were given a task to do something totally different, they're no different than the angels who don't come forth at their appointed times. Do you understand my point here? So if you follow behind them and you follow behind someone who's right, who already has a job to do, for a want of a better term, these are derelict stars. You can't follow a derelict star, because as above, they're going to be held accountable. So below, you will be held accountable. Do you understand? And if you don't understand, let me make it a little more clear for you. God worship is not mentioned until chapters on end. You don't hear anything about people worshiping other gods. And by the time you're hearing about that, we've skipped several major functions in mankind's so-called evolution. Because now you're going to skip right through the Stone Age, right on, and then get right to the Bronze Age, so to speak. And then you skip right from the Bronze Age completely to the Iron Age. And if people don't understand this before the scripture ends with clarity, you get the understanding that obviously people are furthering their witchcraft and their sorceries. I'm trying to tell y'all right now that just because they're trying to copy something that is done or that was done by another power that claims to have been from on high does not mean that they are right. I'm trying to break it down. The true as above. When's the last time you heard of somebody dying from drinking clean rainwater? Heard of people getting arrested for collecting it? Sure. When's the last time you heard of somebody dying where there's no, once again, there are no contaminants in the atmosphere that would be an influencing factor or a contributing factor? Those are all important things. As I say what I say it to say this. You cannot expect for people to take the scripture serious if you cannot point these simple things out. And it is as simple as you saying that, hey, that's water above us and there's water beneath us. Right. If I choose and so desire to be heavenly, because understand, the water that's beneath us, that's on the earth with us, has the natural proclivity to want to rise. The angels keep it in place. Let's read that again. Book of Enoch, chapter 66. And after that, he showed me the angels of punishment, who are prepared to come and let loose all the powers of the waters which are beneath in the earth, in order to bring judgment and destruction on all who abide and dwell on the earth. And the Lord of spirits gave commandment to the angels who were going forth that they should not cause the waters to rise, but should hold them in check. For those angels were the powers over the waters. When you get done, I don't know, people are like, that's not what happened, Meech. That's bullshit. That's your problem. Right on? That's your problem right there. Is that get outside yourself for a second. Just really get outside yourself. You capitulate that there's 4 seasons in a year. You capitulate that a square or a rectangular has 4 corners. You capitulate that, and those corners are 90 degrees. That's 360. You capitulate that there are 4 points that make those corners. That is 364. You already surrender that. You already surrender to a 7-day week. So I don't understand the pushback on you just imagining this. You don't have to even believe it's real. Just imagine it. The same way you watch a movie that you know is completely not real. Okay, imagine this just like that. Treat this just the same. Entertain the thought. And all I'm saying is that when you entertain the thought that there are forces that keep the water back, do y'all realize that the earth itself has a spirit and is a living thing? And whatever the oath is that keeps the water at bay, the water breaks the oath whenever there's, so let's say, I can't even say they break the oath. If the water and the earth are on the same page and the earth is like, well, I'll quake and you'll destroy as much as you can. It's deep when you think about it, but it's still, you cannot get righteous implications on the earth unless there's righteous implications above. And since there are judgments and there are punishments for those that would go against their own duties, their own job, that's what they get. Now, let me just keep going for half a second. Where I want to go. So people talk about the lake of fire, right? Now, nothing's impossible. Not in my book. It's just the ability to make it happen is not within every individual. So obviously all powerful or entities that have been given a measure of authority over these things, they're in control. Let's just read this real quick. This is chapter 67, verse 8. No. Verse 5. And I saw that the valley in which there was a great convulsion, and a convulsion of the waters. And when all this took place, from that fiery molten metal, and from the convulsion thereof in that place, there was produced a smell of sulfur, and it was connected with those waters. And that valley of the angels who led astray mankind burned beneath that land. And through its valleys proceed streams of fire, where these angels are punished who had led astray those who dwell upon the earth. But those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who dwell on the earth, for the healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in their body, for they have denied the Lord of spirits, and see their punishment daily, and yet not believe in his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. For before the Lord of spirits, none shall utter an idle word, for the judgment shall come upon them, because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the Lord of spirit. And those same waters will undergo a change in those days. And for when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature. And when the angels ascend, this water of the springs shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael saying, the judgment wherewith the judgment wherewith the angels are judged is a testimony for the kings and the mighty who possess the earth, because these waters of judgment minister to the healing of the body of the kings and the lust of their body. Therefore, they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. I need y'all to understand. What's going to happen? Somebody used to try to explain that there was going to be a visual hell on the earth where we could see the old sinners. And a part of me believes that, but the way that the book of Enoch is written is that some of this is going to be happening where we can see it above us. Or it's going to take place, maybe not in our physical or visual dimension, but the way that it's written and understood is that some of that's going to happen where you can see it right there. I told you that's water above us, y'all. As above, so below. Just in case people think I'm tripping, let me just dial that back real quick. 67. Boom, 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 boom. Where are we at? Okay, I'd have to go way back. Give me 1 second. So I'm going to try to find these mountains real fast. Oh my goodness. Because even the mountains that he's talking about are not well, they're on the earth, but they're on the very ends and edges of the earth. So it's different. And some of this stuff is in another dimension. 1 second. I don't want to give up on it just yet. Because it matters, but it's not really that important. But it's just for people to understand that everything is going to get judged. The angels are going to get judged. Mankind is going to get judged. And everything that people have ever done is going to get judged. And I don't know if people understood that part that I just read real quick, but like it speaks on the waters healing them in a sense, like because of the lust that's inside of them, you know. Um, like this part right here is pretty clear. Verse 9, and in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. For before the Lord of spirits, none shall utter an idle word. So when you have people not understanding that the words that they speak right now, they say a lot of things. This is why the Most High God says, let your words be few. Right on? They say a lot of things that don't move or don't matter, or like no disrespect, but a comedian. They're probably, what's up, Leonard Judah? My bad, fam. I've been over here getting down and reading. I ain't been looking over. What's good with you, my brother? Man, salute, bro. I hope all is well, brother. But I'm just talking about how, for real, as above, so below. And nobody's understanding how people are mealy mouthed. These comedians are mealy mouthed, right? Like they say a lot of stuff that really they don't get, is a detriment to them, because they're saying it to be a comedian, to be funny, so called, but those are idle words before the Most High God. Worshiping Him is one thing, but you speaking truth, real truth, is a whole nother. He's never gonna not let you speak the truth. Does that make sense? So when this change in people's spirit takes place, it's going to be something of significant magnitude, and it's going to be measurable. But by then, what I'm trying to read to the people is like, it's too late. You know what I mean? As above, so below. So when the angels who didn't do what they were supposed to do at their appointed times, I wasn't alive when some of this stuff happened. I'm sure right now, as we speak, there are luminaries that deviate from their courses that are pretty much snatched up in so many wants and ways to say these things. Oh, what's good, brother Corey Tyler? What's popping, bro? But and just to catch everybody up again, I'm gonna finish this thought. But we have people who are under the auspices that we're not going to be judged because they don't see the judgment happening. When they don't understand, again, a luminary right now, a star right now, could be doing something that's against the will of the Most High God. And for want of a better way of saying it, but the heaven police are going to go get this angel, right on? Or this star that's derelict, and they're gonna put it in a prison until the time of judgment. Now, people are like, Meet, you're reading from a book that folks can't verify. I'm like, do they believe in cinnamon and stack and galbanum? Do they believe in silver and gold? Like, at some point, you have to stop saying these things are allegories and just realize that the life that we've been led to lead and to believe is worth living is different and deviates from what we're actually supposed to do. Note the key word here that I want people to catch on to is that it says about lust. And it says, but those waters shall in those days serve for the kings and the mighty and the exalted and those who dwell on the earth, for healing of the body, but for the punishment of the spirit. Now their spirit is full of lust, that they may be punished in the body. For they have denied the Lord of spirits and see their punishment daily, and yet believe not in his name. And in proportion as the burning of their bodies becomes severe, a corresponding change shall take place in their spirit forever and ever. For before the Lord of spirits, none shall utter an idle word. But this is all, once again, this is the too late part. It's too late. For judgment shall come upon them, because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the spirit of the Lord. And the same waters will undergo a change in those days. For when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change temperature. I guess temperature is allegory too, right? And when the angels ascend, this water of the spring shall change and become cold. And I heard Michael or Michael answering and saying, this judgment wherewith the angels are judged is a testimony for the kings and the mighty who possess the earth, because the waters of judgment minister to the healing of the bodies of the kings and the lust of their body. Again, lust. Therefore, they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. Again, a Jane. I don't know how long people think forever is, but what I imagine in my little mind, right? In my imaginative mind, though, that takes things to a whole nother level. I imagine that the Most High God allows people to wander into multiple different bodies of water all over the earth. It's going to happen almost simultaneously, and folks ain't going to realize it. There's going to be something that forces them into the water. And as it's written here, these things are going to happen. So they're not going to believe. Can you hear me? We ain't talking about napalm dropping on you now. No. We ain't talking about no phosphorus. We ain't talking about no thermite grenades. Nah. We're talking about your body being perpetually healed and burned forever. That, my friends, something to think about. Heaven is into real estate. I don't know. I don't know if you consider places that certain spirits reside. I guess you could contend that. I wouldn't go as far as to say real estate as it would be a functionable venue. You know, if you're the spirit that is in charge of, let's say, rain, hail, frost, snow, and you also have to combine your forces with wind. You know, their place in the heavens is somewhere that's appropriate. They're not in a direction where none of that is going to get on the earth in an appropriate manner or force and form. They're going to be somewhere where it's most appropriate. Now, I know people's minds don't see it like this, but the heaven is a circle like the sun and the moon. The heaven has a circumference. The earth is never mentioned to having a circumference. The only time there's ever mentioned any kind of a circle is the circle of the earth. Right on? And that's not calling the earth a circle itself. That's just speaking to the fact that the firmament is there. Right on? And the firmament is a force field. But that's neither here nor there. What you call the ozone layer, that invisible thing up there to them, that's the firmament, dog. Anyway, now again, I need for people to realize this. One second. I need people to realize this. You cannot be heavenly. The only way you can be and look to be heavenly is because there's a heaven above us. Right? You know, so this is the initial point of the as above, so below, is that you can aspire to be heavenly because it's above us. So I know that people say, oh, as above, so below, and they be on that Baphomet weirdo energy. I'm saying it in a way more like straightforward, literal sense that even if they argue against it, even if they don't want to believe it, there's a greater chance that what I'm saying applies more to their life than not. I don't believe that you can redeem yourself. I believe that you can repent and be remorseful continuously and longevity that shows people that there is real contrition within your spirit and your soul and within your persons. Whether you should be spared or mercy should be levied towards you is a whole nother conversation. But the fact that you can show that sincerely you understand and you know what you did was wrong, and not only that, you know that you should have never done it, and you're forever apologetic. And if there's anything you can do to lessen the burden that you've put on other people in that process, then you should undertake all those actions. And if all the angels in heaven can do is be locked away for 10,000 years for a break. Now, could you do 10,000 years in the slammer for the Most High? Because you got out of pocket? Because you get mad about the white man putting niggas away, but do you think that's excessive? Do you think that's out of pocket for the Creator to say you need 10,000 years hard ones? Okay, this is for all intents and purposes, this is the federal prison in heaven. Okay, this ain't the regular jail where you got cleanup duty or something like that, and one of these alternative universes or whatever, however big the heavens really is, and however many worlds there are. I say that to say this: you will only be like what is above because you are below it. You are beneath it. But it gives you something to work for, to actually look to. So I wouldn't be worried about, once again, weirdo Baphomet, goat head demons. I wouldn't be worried about dudes who were talking about Egyptology, unless they're going to tell you that the Egyptians believe that the universe is rectangular. There's nothing to talk about. Like literally nothing. No thing at all. They can look it up. All they do is type in, did the Egyptians believe the universe was rectangular? And there's going to be sects of people from the Egyptian culture. Doesn't matter if all of them believed it. There are major individuals who did. So how are they going to get mad at me for pointing out something that's obviously true? Right. Now, again, how would they figure that the universe is rectangular? That's above us, or supposed to be, unless the universe is within the earth. And either way, still saying, how do you know that? How do you know that? Something told them this. Something gave them this understanding. Again, my brothers and sisters, let me read something again. In the beginning, God made the heaven and the earth. Stop. Here we go. And this is the power of this oath. Verse 15, chapter 68, I want to say, 69. For it is powerful and strong. And he placed this oath, Ake, in the hand of Michael. And these are the secrets of this oath. Listen to this, y'all. And they are strong through his oath. And the heaven was suspended before the world was created and forever. Stop right there. So the concept of the heavens, this is why you hear in the beginning, God made the heaven and the earth. So again, in order for you to have something to look forward to, right? However well you think your home is furnished, do you think your home is better furnished than the Most High God's home in heaven? That's a yes or no question. You don't believe in heaven? That's fine. And yes, if we're going to just say houses to whatever, you can say that heaven has real estate. Bethlehem, whatever your name is. And that's in that case still, who thinks they got a better home than the Most High God? who got tessellated floors and flames and crystals, who got cherubims and seraphims and ophanins, okay, ophanim, and their surrounding, huh? Who got that? Who got drab that's whiter than snow, huh? Who got a countenance that's 10 times, 1,000 times multifold brighter than the sun? Stop it. I'm just asking so that way we can all get on the same page. That being said, and the heaven was suspended before the world was created and forever. And through it, the earth was founded upon the water. So again, just in case people thought I was tripping earlier, listen to that. And through it, being what is it? The oath and heaven, my friends. As above, so below. And through it, the earth was founded upon the water. And from the secret recesses of the mountains come beautiful waters, from the creation of the world and to eternity. And through the oath, the sea was created. And as its foundation, he set for it the sand against the time of its anger. And it dare not pass beyond it from the creation of the world unto eternity. And through the oath are the depths made fast, and abide and stir not from their place from a to eternity to eternity. And through the oath, the sun and the moon complete their course, and deviate not from their ordinance from eternity to eternity. And he calls them by their names, and they answer him from eternity to eternity. Again, if you do what you're supposed to do upon this earth, why would the Most High God curse you? You choose to do things that are wrong. If I do what's wrong, I have to count my punishment as joy, because at least he cares enough to correct me because I'm wrong. I shouldn't get angry because I've been being punished. I should say, what am I doing wrong? And if I know what I'm doing wrong, I need to stop doing that which is wrong. I should not continue on. And in like manner, the spirits, what? The spirits of the water and of the winds and all the zephyrs and their paths from all the quarters of the winds. And there are preserved the voices of the thunder and the light of the lightnings. And there are preserved the chambers of hell and the chambers of hoarfrost and the chambers of mist and the chambers of rain and the chambers of dew. And all these believe, what? And all these believe and give thanks before the Lord of spirits and glorify him with all their power. And their food is in every act of thanksgiving. They thank and glorify and extol the name of the Lord of spirits forever and ever. Stop right there. Do y'all realize what I just read to y'all? As above, so below. There's people who don't got a cent to their name. Nothing. But they boast that the Most High God, he gonna take, they're still here. For everybody who's, oh, he's poor, he's this, but they're still here though. All the dudes who had it are not here. Right on? They were living a certain way. Now they're going to be judged before they had a chance to repent and at least do better in the eyes of the Most High God. If they just couldn't flat out try to do right. And this oath is mighty over them, and through it they are preserved. Their paths are preserved, and their course is not destroyed. Again, as above, so below. When you put the Most High God first and you actually worship Him, and your credit, your credit that you get is the credit that He gets. As far as like, I don't need nobody to give me the credit. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's okay. As long as people are getting closer each day to the Most High God in their own ways, where eventually they will ask to be saved from this land of wicked, wretched works. Why should I get angry? Why should I be upset because I've been more effective than I thought I was? And just because they don't speak to who I am individually does not mean I'm not effective. Does not mean I didn't do my part. Many of these things that these people say and do right now, because I've been steadfast in my beliefs, they've been able to abscond and to take and to deliver things that they would not have been able to ordinarily deliver. But all praises be to the Most High God, the creator of heaven and earth, because there is none like unto him. And as they do above, as the rain, the wind, the dew, the snow, the hoarfrost, right on, all of it, all those things give him the water, all of it just worships him. The lightning, the thunders, all of it, they bless him. Right. As above, brothers and sisters, you should do so below. You shouldn't be trying to impress upon yourselves something that you're not meant to do. But I do bless you. I really do bless you. I hope that this has been, if nothing else, exciting and stimulating. We'll be back at it very soon. Apple, update on the Apple. So come to find out, my battery might not have been bad at all. My charging port, which I told you I had to work my way around to everything, but my charging port is trash. So waiting for them income tax dividends to kick in, buy the piece and all that, and not hurt my money. But do that, then I'll have to desolder the piece that's in there out, reconnect the new piece, solder it in. Well, first I'm gonna test it, make sure it's right before I solder it all the way in. You know what I mean? But once I know it's working, I solder it in and it's done. That's it. You know, brand new piece on it. Blah blah blah. But anyway, before I roll out, I gotta say this about the whole. My next piece is gonna be about genealogy. I'm writing this down right now. Genealogy. And I want to talk about genera, and I want to talk about genetics, and I want to speak on, and I'm going to be very slow about it because I want to talk about how produce is the very first genetic organism. It's the first biology. It's indisputable. There are no animals that are thought to be as old as any of the oldest trees that are on the earth. Not one. I need y'all to really think about that. Like it had to be somewhere in the deep depths. You follow what I'm saying? It had to be way down below, somewhere where people haven't been. And I ain't talking about no megalodon. I'm talking about like, Leviathan, Behemoth, something like that. But even then, though, still, your oldest vegetation is still more than likely older than them. And I don't believe in carbon dating. I don't believe in the way that they date trees. I don't care about counting the ring. I don't care about none of that. It don't mean anything to me. Unless you were there when it was planted, it's just really difficult for you to say. It's just like my old school saying of, you didn't do no procreating to get here. So you really don't know. You can believe what you want to believe, but you're told what you're told. That being said, brothers and sisters, got to get ready to roll out. Got to get ready to go handle some business, get to work. Blah, 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 blah. It's always a pleasure and an honor to see y'all. Um, until the next time. you know, this has been. Oh, hold on. I lied. I got to get this part right here off me. So, verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of water, and let it be a division between water and water. And it was so. Stop right there. That should tell everybody everything that they need to know. Right on? People are like, what's that? Is that water that was separated was brought up. You can't have brought down the water. You didn't bring when it was separate. And now I want you to think about how much water that is. Think about how much water's on the earth. And think about how much water was really separated, y'all. It's amazing the power of the Most High God. And once again, they'll tell you that that's just the light of the sun reflecting onto the ocean, reflecting back into the atmosphere that's giving us the perception of the water. But for some odd reason, when it's dark out, it turns dark up there too. I guess but there's no light. There's not enough light to reflect. So how is that possible? Is what I'm trying to say. Even the Illuminati, for cities that don't have proper that are so polluted that you can't even see the stars at night. Again, like nothing that they're saying makes any sense. But be looking forward to this next piece. We'll try to get to it in the next day or so. It's going to be the genealogy. We're going to talk about the first actual true genetic things that are on this earth. And we're going to break down how all plants have the same, the cell that's in the cell that's within a plant is the same cell that is within a man. At the core of a plant's cellular structure and the core of a man's cellular structure is the exact same makeup of the cell. Only difference is the plant has magnesium in the core and our structure has iron in the core. But we're going to break this down in the next video, and then we're going to get people to understand, uh, why their understanding of genetics just through fruits and vegetables, produce. If you mix them and they're not the same, how can you mix so-called people and they be the same? But I salute y'all. I salute y'all again. And I salute you once more. May tomorrow be better than today. And may your next week surely be better than your last. Spiritual Gumbo out.